say that it is an honor and a privilege to be the leader of the team that you have sitting in this room today. And when you look around, you are amazing. Whether you're single or you're married, you have children or you don't, you have fur babies, your grandparents. Whether you work full-time, you work part-time, you're retired. If you look around this room, you will see that we and you are all amazing. Look around. You're amazing. Now, the other thing is that all of you do what you do for different reasons. Maybe you do it for the money. Maybe you do it to be away from your children. Maybe you do it to be with your children. Maybe you're planning for retirement. Whatever reason you're doing it, it's probably a little bit different for each and every one of you. Maybe you're doing it for the recognition because that's a fun part of why we do what we do, or the products. It's different, right? So we're all amazing in our different ways, and we all do this for different reasons. But the one thing I can tell you that we have in common is we all sell Pampered Chef, and we're part of the Pampered Chef family. And that means that we all get to make a difference. Whether it's making a difference for that customer, and you know the one that gets excited about that mix and chop, because they're like, I make tacos for my family now. We don't go out and do dashboard dining in the car. We actually eat around the dinner table, and that makes a difference for our family. We get to make differences for the hosts that we meet. Whether it's that social gathering, they get together and have that wine, cheese, and chocolate, or that healthy in a hurry meal, we get to allow them to bring their friends and their family around, and we fill their kitchen with great products. Then we have the people that we share our opportunity with. And what a blessing that is, to make a difference. Because as you sit here today, if someone didn't share with you, you may not have the things that you have, and may not have fulfilled the dreams that you fulfilled. And so the difference we get to make is with our guests who buy, our hosts who get deeply discounted products, and the consultants who join our team. And if you look at that, you will see why I and the director team are so passionate about sharing what we do. And I want to talk to you a little bit more about that tonight, because I want to talk with you about what happens as you share. Where does that lead you? So, let's talk a little bit about what happens. First, when I have you think about this, I want you to think about home ownership, because I found it really easy to think about what it is to be a leader. It's like owning a home. Okay, so put that in your mind, home ownership. So right now, we have 5 leaders on the team. We have Lisa, and Wendy, and Linda, and Dawn, and Michelle. Okay? Yeah, that was 5, but 5 leaders. And whoever is your director, you live in their house. So if I'm your director, you live in my house, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Now, as good parents, we're going to say, bring people over to play, because it's much more fun when you bring people over. And anyway, everybody wants to hang out with the cool kids, and we are where the cool kids are. So we're going to invite you to bring people over to play. So what happens when you bring someone over to play, or you bring someone onto your team? When you add one person to your team, and you're going to have to excuse the fast writing, but one person, and each of you sells $150, you are going to promote to what's called senior consultant with the Pampered Chef. So as long as each of you does at least $150, you have one person, you're now a senior consultant, and you make 1% more on what you sell. Here's what I know though. You're coming to your team meetings like you are tonight, you're going to sell more than because you want to make more than $30 a month, okay? So you're going to sell more than that as a senior consultant. And what's going to happen is you're going to see how much fun it is to share, and you're going to invite more people over. And so when you have 2 people that you've invited to play and join you, you're going to become a team leader. Now, what do you need to do to actually get that title of team leader and promote to team leader? Both of those people have to sell at least $150 each. You have to sell $750, and collectively, you have to sell $2,500. But here's what I want to tell you about this number right here, this $750. You see this word right here, leader? Because you're a leader, you're going to sell way more than $750. In fact, you're probably going to be selling this $2,500 all by yourself, because leaders, and so that's what you're going to be doing. So what does it mean? You make 2% more, and you make 2% on what you sell, and 2% on your team members. And I'm just going to ask for a glass of water at this point. So whoever would like to give me a glass of water, great. So thank you. See, that's what family's all about. Now what's going to happen here is you caught the vision, and you see how much fun it is to share with other people and invite them over. And I'm going to continue to encourage you to do that, and you're going to want to do that. But I also know that your room is going to get crowded because you're going to keep inviting people to play, and there's going to be way too many people in the room, and I'm going to say to you, I think it's time for you to get your own house. So how do you get your own house? Just like in the real world, you need to qualify to get that house. And in order to qualify, there are 3 things that you need to do. One is that you have to have a handful of people beside yourself, 5 people, join your team, okay? You do not have to personally invite them all in. Between you and your team members, 5 people. But we know that if you're out doing parties regularly, most of those 5 will come from you. So you have, that's the first thing, is 5 people. Collectively, as a group, you have to sell $5,000. Here comes that hand again, right? And with those 5, with that $5,000, you have to sell $750 of that. But what did we already talk about? You're a leader. $750, at least $2,500 of that is going to be yours, because you're out doing an average of 2 parties a week. You're sharing our opportunity, you're building in your building, and you're getting ready to move out into your own home. So you have to, 5 people beside yourself, $5,000. The last thing, in order to qualify for that 1 month that you're getting ready to move into your own home, is each one of those 5 people needs to sell at least $150 in sales. They have to be active. So I've just thrown a whole bunch of numbers at you. So let me just summarize and say, in order for you to promote to a director with a Pampered Chef, you need to have 5 people on your team in a, let's say we're in March, right? Month of March. Sue? Yes. Okay, Sue, you just use it as an example. 5 people on your team. We've got 5 right around it right here. Each one of them sells at least $150. You sell way more than $750, but collectively you sell $5,000. April 1st, Pampered Chef says to you, congratulations, you own your own home. Can we give Sue a hand? Yeah, right? So you are going to move out of my house, all right? And you're going to move on to First Street. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Oh, I thought maybe they showed. Oh, there we go. There it is. So if you look at this, you'll see the red on the top is my house, and then there's the 6 and the 2, and I'll get back to that structure in just a second and tell you a little bit more about that. But you need to, you'll move out of the house into First Street. The question usually comes up and say, okay, so it's $5,000 a month to qualify, 5 people, 150 active. How do I keep my house? How do I keep that title of director? Just like in the real world, there's a mortgage that has to be paid every month. In the Pampered Chef world, in order to keep your title, you have to sell $5,000 a month. Now you have a choice. You can say, well, I'm going to do this all alone, but it's a lot more fun to just keep inviting people up in, right? So mortgage is a whole lot easier to pay. That $5,000 is a whole lot easier to reach. When you keep sharing like you've been doing to get that house, keep doing what you did to get the house, and you keep the house. What happens if you don't? Because life happens, right? Pampered Chef gives you a grace period of 3 months. Month 1, month 2, month 3. You don't reach that $5,000 for 3 months in a row, you have to move back into mom's house. Neither one of us want that to happen. Okay? So we're going to work together to make sure that you are strong in your leadership and you get to keep your house. What you see up here is our development. Yeti, Yeomans Executive Team Extraordinaire.
Nice.
Executive team structure. And you'll notice that we have 5 directors on First Street. The 2 houses on Second are empty, and the 6th house on First Street is empty. In order for us to promote to an executive director team, we need to fill those 3 houses. Now, what does it mean for us if we fill those 3 houses? Well, let me just give you some numbers for my number of people in the room. There are currently 1,500 director teams, so individually owned houses. There are these are about numbers, okay? About 450 advanced director teams, 100 senior director teams, and 60 executive director teams. So we get to be really exclusive. Not only do we get to be exclusive, but we have lots of perks. So yeah, I get to carry the fancy title, leader of an executive director team, but you get to say, I'm a member of an executive director team. Not only that, we have lots of other tools that can happen. One is we get the samples. You know the mats that we earned this month? Well, when we're an executive director team, I get them early, and we get to look at those things before we even earn them. How cool is that? I have the opportunity to hear things that are going to happen before they happen, and if I have permission, I get to share them with you. So you get to be in the know before anybody else. So there's lots of things that happen when we become an executive director team. And I will tell you that one of my favorite is the bat phone. Executive directors have a concierge line, and because we have that, I get to call. If there's an issue or problem that you have, I get to call, and it gets resolved faster through those channels. So we want to move into this so that we can have all of those perks. What I know, though, is some of you are sitting here and you're saying, Yvette, I don't want to move out of your house. I like your house. I want to stay with you. All right? And I'm going to say that's okay, because everybody has different goals. And it's okay if you stay with me. But I am going to ask you to continue to share, because we have the best opportunity out there. And so I want you to share, even if you don't want your own home, and we'll deal with that when the time comes. So share, share, share. And if you don't have a goal of owning your own home, and even if you do have a goal of owning your own home, I want all of you to cheer as we move towards this goal as an organization. What I want you to think about for a moment is a flock of geese. And when you think of a flock of geese flying in that V formation, all moving forward in the same direction, you have that leader out front, and you have that geese behind the head goose. And what are they doing? They're honking. And they're honking for encouragement. They're not honking like humans honk. They're honking for encouragement. Let's go. We're all going in the same direction. We can make this happen. And when the goose out front gets tired, another goose takes that position. Because when you're flying in that formation, it makes it so much easier because of the lift of the air for all the other geese to go in that direction. So as a director team, we work together to move forward. And we rotate that position so that we're stronger as an organization and as a team. And sometimes, in the world of geese, a goose gets sick and flies down. And when that happens, 2 other geese go down to be with it until it's ready to go again. So I ask you, when you see a team member that stops showing up for team meetings, that you don't see on Facebook anymore, that you don't know what happened, where did they go, that you reach out and you say to them, what do you need? How can I support you? Come back and fly with us, because we're all going in the same direction and we want you to be part of the team. So as I say that to you, I want you to know that we're amazing. We as an organization are amazing, and we are going great places. And I want you all to come along with us. So we're about to take a break. And when we take a break, you're going to see some sticky notes here. And if you know that you want your own house, I want you to take one of those sticky notes and put it up on the board. And I want you to know that you don't have to know how to get your own home. You just have to want to have your own home. We'll help you take care of the rest. Thank you.